Okay, y'all, I got my Pungo Prairie Salsa Mary all made, jarred up, and huddled up here on this little table here in the Pungo Prairie Saloon. The video's all shot. I just have to find time now to edit it so I can share this recipe with all y'all like I promised in the next episode of Pungo Prairie Cameos. Now, yesterday I got an email from a sweet little hippie chick cowgirl friend, Templeton Thomson, from way down in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, Tempy is a songwriter and a singer who, along with her man Sam Gay, just released a really awesome, amazing, entertaining, inspirational music video. It's called Get Back Up. And I want to share that with y'all here too, so I'm going to leave a link to Tempy and Sam's Get Back Up here in the description section of this video. Now, Sam's a videographer in this production, and Templeton and her horse are the stars. Check it out. You're going to love it. Get Back Up. Now, the reason that Tempy was emailing me, she was sending along her world-famous oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe that was featured a while back in Cowboys and Indians magazine. And the other thing that she sent was a clip of her singing a cappella The Promise, the Dolphin song, a tribute to Olivia Newton-John, who we all know recently passed away. And I got to tell you, when I heard the news, I cried because I really, really loved her. I loved her work over the years, her songs. And she might have been Australia's princess, but she was America's sweetheart. And she had a huge passion for dolphins. And she had written this song to make folks more aware of these magnificent creatures. Now, the way that I've witnessed them looking out and caring for each other in the wild is just awing to me. And it reminded me of an experience I had with my nephew Justin while we were fishing off the coast of Virginia here a couple of seasons ago, and we came upon a pod of pilot whales. And I wanted to share that video with Templeton and Sam. Only thing is, I sent them the wrong link. I sent them a link to this video that I'm getting ready to play for y'all now that I kind of forgotten about, but when it was brought back to mind, it was one I collaborated with my friend Dave Parker, and we had so much fun doing it that I thought I'd share it again with all y'all that may have not have seen it. Now, Dave, he's got his own YouTube channel. It's called Dave Parker Norfolk. He travels around and shares all of his great experiences and people he meets on his channel. And one of my favorite things that he did was kind of a documentary for Virginia Found that was aired on PBS TV. It's called Virginia's River Realm, and I'm going to share a link to that if I can find it for y'all too. So you're going to get a whole lot of entertainment just out of watching this one little video. But right now, we're going to have some fried apples, country ham, and Dave's eggs.
Hey, Bill.
Dave Parker.
How's it going? I guess we got to both do this, right?
Welcome to the Pungo Prairie.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, buddy.
So how is it that you and I got connected?
I think it was collard greens.
Why was it? What do you mean collard greens?
Well, it was right before Thanksgiving, I think.
Right.
Or between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Was this on my radio show?
You were on the radio talking about fixing collards, and guys were calling in and telling you their recipes, and I said, well, they all sound pretty good,
but I'm going to
send you some collard green recipe. It's going to rock you. And I call it Dixon's Tent Camp Collards.
Right.
And the reason I call it Dixon's Tent Camp Collards is because at Thanksgiving, we're always at my hunting camp in the mountains of Virginia.
Yep.
And one of the things I make is collard greens to contribute to what everybody else has got going on. I don't know if you ever tried them or not, but
I don't think so. It sounded delicious.
But anyway, you know where to find the recipe again.
Yes, I do.
And I think that's how it all started. And then you invited me to call in.
And you were a guest on my show?
Yep.
Man, don't ever admit that on camera, Bill.
Why?
All right.
The Eggland's best.
That's right.
It says so right here.
Only the best.
All right.
All right, so I love having scrambled eggs in the morning. But I don't like just any kind of eggs. I'm a little picky about it. So you can have light, fluffy eggs, or you can have dense, creamy eggs, and that's the way I like mine. What about you?
Dense and creamy?
Dense and creamy. Is that all right with you?
Sounds good to me.
Good, because I hope so, because that is by far the most fattening version of that.
I need it. I'm wasting away to nothing down here.
Now listen, the whole difference between light and fluffy and dense and creamy is how you treat the moisture within the eggs that we're going to scramble, and we'll get to that coming up in a second. So we're going to do 5 total eggs, 4 full ones and 1 with a yolk. And I want your help with showing me how to separate the eggs, all right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna, well, go ahead, you're the professional.
You're saving yolks, right?
Yep.
You just rock it back and forth and let that white drip right off the edge. And she goes.
All right. Now we're going to use the yolks in 4 of the eggs. We're going to use the whole egg in 4 and the yolk in just 1. So that's fine. So the rest of we need the whole egg.
Oh, the whole egg. So
Yeah.
we're going here with it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I've already messed him up.
Are we doing what we're supposed to do?
Yep.
3.
That's 3 total. All right.
That's 4.
Yep.
We're doing 5, right?
Yep. Sorry. I didn't know there was going to be math in this one. Okay, so we got 5 eggs. Now the key part of this is coming up. So we got to scramble. Where's your fork? All right.
Fork's what Grandma Dixon always
There
used.
you go. All right. So we're gonna scramble our eggs. It's like the Food Network. You got to show everything. Super up close. All right. So we're gonna scramble these up, and this next part is actually going to take about 15 minutes. But it's an easy 15 minutes because we don't have to do anything. We get to let the salt do all the work.
Except I'm going to be prepping up what I'm going to go fix up to go along with it.
All right, any hints yet? Can you tell me yet?
Oh, yeah.
What you gonna make?
Well, you got to have some country ham.
Yes.
And the reason you got to have
Salt.
You want sea salt,
Yeah,
kosher salt.
It's kosher salt. Do you have that?
Okay.
All right. All right. Okay. So the key here is we've whipped our eggs, and we're going to put in about 1/4 tablespoon of salt. Now what this does is this helps to keep all of the proteins within the eggs from binding together. So look, about a quarter teaspoon. Did I say quarter cup? All right, so we're going to let that sit for 15 minutes.
Okay.
And this bright yellow color that you see now, that will end up turning into a much darker yellow. Have you ever noticed that when you let eggs sit for a while, that the color changes a lot, gets much
They don't
darker?
usually sit around that long.
So, so the salt is going to keep the proteins in the eggs from binding. And we don't want that because that makes the curd much tighter. It squeezes out the moisture, which we don't want. Oh, man, he's got a timer and everything.
15 minutes.
15 minutes on the clock.
Mama Dixon always had fried apples to go with her scrambled eggs. What was that movie? Something about peeling a whole apple in one long strip. Sleepless in Seattle.
I thought you were going to say fried green apples. And that was fried green tomatoes. Bill, I think what I've been missing out on is a cool hat like you've got. But you got this like Crocodile Dundee thing going on, which is much cooler than me.
The sad thing about it is I got to really take care of this hat now because it's a Shady Brady. And a lot of people know what Shady Brady is. Mm-hmm. He made the coolest hats ever. But he died last summer. And they're closed up the place. And I can't buy no more of them. We're going to throw a little bit of this butter, not quite a half a stick in there, and get it melted up. All right, in goes the apples. Just give them a little stir around and get them all coated up with that butter. Got an escapee. Geez, you think there was frogs jumping out of the pan. And what we're going to do here is just kind of start to brown these apples up a little bit. And then we're going to add some sugar.
All right, just for the record, Bill has now brought out a cucumber, which I've never, ever, ever seen on any breakfast menu. Denny's, Shoney's, Hardee's, I've never seen it anywhere.
They didn't know Mama Dixon. During the summertime, we had cucumbers from the garden. She'd always cut some cucumbers up to serve with breakfast because something else we're going to make to go along with them eggs, them good old eggs that Dave Parker's got sitting over here in the salt. Now, I ain't never seen that before, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because he promised it would be. Is we're going to have some fried country ham, some red-eye gravy, and that red-eye gravy is going over these cucumbers. Just get some little slices going on.
Back to the apples.
Get our apples flipped over a little bit. They're starting to brown up on the edges, nice. We're just going to take a little bit of sugar here, maybe a couple teaspoons. Now make that tablespoon. It's time.
Eggs are done.
-7. Give it a little toss. Apples are starting to brown up nice.
Now when they say apple a day will keep the doctor away, they probably weren't talking about this, were they?
I don't know. My mom lived to be 95. She ate them every morning almost. All right, a few slices of country ham. And we're just going to fry that ham up till it gets a little brown on the outside.
I think Bill's is going to be a lot better than mine. And that's the way it should be.
Hey, you can't have a good breakfast if you don't have great eggs.
That's true. Can you see the color difference, Bill? If not, I'll have to do that in color grading just to make sure. So that you can tell the difference, right?
Yeah,
it's quite a bit darker.
Nice and rich looking.
Right. All right. I've got about a quarter tablespoon of butter. I put that in there because we're going to add fat to it. So what the butter does is the butter not only is going to add to the creaminess, it also helps these proteins from binding together, making tight curds. We don't want that. Okay, here we go. We got medium heat. We've got our prepared eggs. And look how sunset orange that is.
Oh, man.
All right. So the key here is we want to keep moving our eggs. You don't want to let them sit. If you let them sit, that allows the air bubbles to build up. You want to keep breaking up the air bubbles. So we're going to put this in here. We want a low to medium heat. If we had it on a high heat, that increases evaporation of the moisture, which means fluffy. And I don't want them fluffy. I want them nice and dense and creamy.
I think you're onto something there, Dave Parker. You've had this, though.
I have. I've done it a few times, and just like you've done those apples a few times. All right, Bill, we're going to take this dense and creaminess up a notch. And I got a little bit of a treat right here at the end. Heavy cream, about a half. Maybe 1 tablespoon right there.
My mom used to always put that cream in there.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That.
So take it off the heat, mix it in because you don't want that to curdle. Give it a nice coating. And we're all done.
Right.
All right. And that is it.
Add a little coffee into this pan here. And Dave, I need you to add a little dollop of that cream.
Okay, about a tablespoon?
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, so you got heavy cream, coffee, you got the drippings from
the ham slice.
From the ham. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Oh man, look at this. He's put the ham in there with the eggs.
Just keep it warm with the apple.
And plus those two things just naturally go together.
You've seen the pig with the apple in its mouth. You know what the difference between being committed in a relationship and being involved in a relationship?
What's that?
It's like ham and eggs. The chicken's involved. The ham's committed. Okay, just dish up a little of this country ham. Put on the plate here. Some of these nice fried green apples. Make us a little room here and put some of these nice fresh sliced cucumbers. A few over here. One more. And some of this red-eye gravy. Now this, right here on these cucumbers and ham, is what really sets it off. Perfect.
Bill, this looks delicious. I mean, I've never had cucumbers with the breakfast type meal, but you've got gravy, that red-eye gravy over it, the ham, the apples, which look perfect, my eggs, which I think are going to be the weak link here.
Oh, I don't know, man. Look at the color of them eggs.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
All right.
Here's to dense and creamy.
And here's you having me out to your place. Thank you.
Welcome to the Pungo Prairie.
Been looking forward to it for a long time.
Because you don't want to miss this. Lord, thank you so much for bringing Dave down here to visit today and show me how to make these delicious scrambled eggs. And just this time together, bless this food now to nourish our bodies and strengthen us for life in thee. Through Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen. A little salty.
You know,
a little salty.
they're a little salty. But hey, I got something to cut salt.
What is that?
This is some
I didn't know there.
salsa I made a couple days ago
Okay.
from tomatoes and jalapeno peppers that I canned up from the garden last summer. But it's got fresh cilantro from this year.
All right. I'm gonna try.
When I was growing up, we always put ketchup on our scrambled eggs. But since I got to be an adult, I use salsa.
I've never done that. I know a lot of people put ketchup on their eggs. Not only have I never done it, I've never understood it.
Well, I grew up putting ketchup on my steak too. But that was because when you grew up back in those days and on the farm, not that I grew up on the farm, but my daddy did, and of course a lot of our influence in the way we ate and cooking was from the farm. And they butchered their own beef. And the old country folks back there, they didn't want to eat a steak medium rare or rare like we enjoy today. They cook it well done, which to me is just ruining it. So we put ketchup on it to give it some flavor.
Right. The gravy is delicious. The apples are fantastic.
All we need is your biscuits.
Yeah. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and breakfast has never tasted so good. This is why they have 24-hour breakfast now.
Oh, yeah. IHOP. They're open all the time for breakfast. When I was running the fishing center, we had this girl that worked at the counter with us. Her name was Shelly. Gorgeous, beautiful blonde girl. Everybody loved her. So some tourist comes in and wants to know where the International House of Pancakes is. Skip Feller, one of the captains, was standing there, and he said, just go over the bridge down General Booth Boulevard, about 3 miles, it's on the left. Shelley says, Skipper, that's IHOP. That was a definite blonde moment for Shelley. Actually, these eggs are good.
All right, so tell me again how to make the red-eye gravy.
Well, it's pretty simple. First, you got to buy ham that's got a little bit more fat on it.
Okay.
And just brown your ham up in the pan. Take it out and leave the drippings in there. And it probably would have been better if I'd have used a smaller skillet than I used for just us two, because it would have made the liquid column a little higher in the pan.
Okay.
And just dump you some black coffee in there in the drippings and stir it around, and then a little bit of that cream like you did, and that's it.
How about that? We have a Keurig at home. I wonder if that makes that harder.
What's that? I think I got one.
A Keurig?
Hold on.
You think you have one.
It's a little dusty since I got electricity. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. That is your modern day Keurig. They have them in every Hilton across the country. That's funny.
Dave, thank you for coming out and teaching me how to cook them eggs, man. I'm going to tell you what.
I can't believe I oversalted them. It's going to take me a while to get over.
I think that was my fault on account I made you let them sit in the salt too long while I was trying to fry up the apples.
Well, thank you for having me out. I love looking at your place on videos, and what a great travel video. I only have to travel 30 minutes and get to come out and see you.
It's a good thing maybe you didn't bring that motorcycle, because a lot of these roads right now are flooded. You see that from that tidal flood. All right, buddy.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Dave.
All right, we'll see you.
See you again, buddy. Now, that was a great breakfast, even if it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that, girls and boys, is what's cooking on the Pungo Prairie.